Welcome to South Coast Radio, and today we are delighted to welcome an artist whose music has been described as a place of refuge. South African singer songwriter Mbali Rose blends contemporary R&B, soul, Afro indie, and pop to create songs filled with warmth, hope, healing, and heartfelt storytelling. Her latest single, Khaya Lami, is a beautiful celebration of finding home in the unconditional love of another person. It's a song that reminds us that home isn't always a place. It can also be found in the people who make us feel safe, loved, and accepted. So let's welcome to the show Mbali Rose. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Great to have you with us today on the show, Mbali. So, let's start at the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how your love for music first began?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Durban. I'm currently based in Cape Town. I came here
Wow.
to pursue my science career, but I've loved music for as long as I can remember. I featured on my cousin's hip hop album at 6 years old. I learned piano and I sang in all the school choirs. So music has definitely always been a very important part of my identity.
Fantastic. And it's fascinating that your very first diary was filled with songs instead of daily entries. When did you realize songwriting was something you wanted to pursue seriously?
Honestly, I only started to seriously consider songwriting as something that I wanted to pursue about 2.5 years ago. It's always been something that I do for fun, but it never clocked as something to chase, like on a career level.
Yeah.
But the older I get, the more I realize that any questions that I have about what my purpose in life may be, the answer lies in who I was as a child. I mean, writing songs instead of diary entries is pretty telling.
Yeah. That's great to hear, Mbali, and awesome stuff. And not many people can say they are both a musician and a scientist. You have a master's degree in human genetics and still work in that field. How do you balance your scientific career with your creative life?
So I actually find that the balance has been really easy for me. I'm lucky that I'm in a position where my schedules just align and I'm free to express both very important parts of who I am, the scientist and the musician. So I'm not in a position where I have to choose one or the other. So I'm very blessed in that way, and I'm very grateful for that.
Indeed, that's awesome, Mbali. And so, living in Nashville must have been an incredible experience. How did that season influence your confidence as both an artist and a songwriter?
Your Nashville really opened my eyes to the fact that every dream that I have for myself, I can pursue. I mean, I went to Nashville for a science research position, and I worked in a lab where everyone was also a musician.
Wow.
So that really encouraged me to put myself out there as a musician and a songwriter. And I was pleasantly surprised at how many spaces there were for musicians who are starting off. I mean, you'd think that Nashville is like a place for the best of the best, but that wasn't my experience. There was space for every kind of musician. I mean, I was getting booked for shows, even though I'd only been playing guitar for like a few months.
Wow.
And all self-taught. So it really, it was an incredible experience, and it's changed my life, honestly.
Awesome. So let's talk about your beautiful new single, Khaya Lami. What inspired the song and what does it mean to you personally?
Yeah, so Khaya Lami means my home, and I've really wanted to capture the essence of beauty and purity and innocence of love.
Yeah.
I wanted to specifically capture that feeling of being in the presence of someone who gives you unconditional love that feels like being at home. And to me, home represents a sacred space where you can completely be yourself.
Yeah.
And as we know in life, I mean, people come and go, but feelings last forever. Like how they made you felt, you'll remember that forever. And so in writing the song, I wanted to bottle up that celebratory feeling of warmth and safety that you feel in this kind of homely love.
Awesome. And so the song speaks also about finding home in another person. Why do you think that message resonates so deeply with people?
So I would rather say that the song is about finding home in the unconditional love that you experience when you're with another person, rather than putting the emphasis on the specific person. And I think that the message of home resonates deeply with people because not everyone can necessarily relate to the feeling of being in love, but I think that everyone can relate to the feeling of being at home. Like no matter where you live, I think there's this universal feeling of relief when you're finally home. I think we all know what it's like after a long day to go home and relax and get comfortable and just be yourself. And that is what I want to bring across to people. And I think that resonates with a wider audience.
Fantastic. And you said this was one of the quickest songwriting sessions you've ever had, almost as if the song was already waiting to be written. What was that experience like?
It was such a beautiful experience because it literally felt like the song was divinely downloaded from the heavens. It's not often that songs just flow through me, but with this one, that's exactly what happened. Within about 20 minutes, I had a full draft of the song, and
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. But yeah, it definitely feels like the song was meant to be.
Wow, that's really awesome, Mbali. And you also worked with Amy Yassing and producer Jono Grayling on this project. What was it like collaborating with them, and how did they help shape the final song?
I absolutely loved working with Amy and Jono. They have this ability to bring out the best in a song while staying true to the artist. And they both played a huge role in bringing out the element of joy and celebration of the song, which you hear in the chorus.
Yes.
And that's so cool because it worked so well with the gentler, quieter elements of the verses, which is more my style and what I'm known for, the gentle quietness.
Yeah.
So it was honestly a match made in heaven. It was lovely working with them.
Great stuff, Mbali. Now, your music blends R&B, soul, Afro-indie and pop while still honoring your South African roots. How would you describe your sound to someone hearing your music for the first time?
I think I'd describe my sound as a warm hug. Even though I lean towards making music that encompasses all the genres that you've mentioned, for me, the songs that I love the most aren't necessarily because they're a specific genre, but it's because they made me feel something on a soul level. And that's what I hope that people hearing my music for the first time experience.
Fantastic. And so as you continue releasing new music and growing your audience both locally and internationally, what are your hopes for the future?
With every song that I release, I breathe some sort of intention into the song. And one thing that I constantly hope for is that my music brings some sort of comfort and joy and healing to whoever hears it, because that's what music does for me. And so more than anything else that comes with what a successful music career may look like selling out shows or getting record deals or having lots of money, whatever it may be. And I mean, don't get me wrong, all that stuff is lovely and I do welcome it. But first and foremost, I hope that I never lose sight of the fact that I want my music to to speak to people on a level that only music can.
100%. That's great stuff, Mbali. So before we let you go, what message would you like to leave with listeners who may be searching for hope, comfort, or a place to belong?
So I would say, I know I've just released a song that talks about finding a sense of home and belonging through the love of another person. And I think that is such a beautiful thing, which is why I wrote a song about it. But I also think it's just as important to remember that you already have so much of what you're searching for within yourself. And there's that quiet voice inside of you that's always guiding you, and sometimes it tells you to do something scary or take the leap of faith. And I think listen to that voice, because I believe that when you choose to love yourself and honor who you are, and start walking in your purpose, then you create space for the right people and the right opportunities, and the kind of belonging that lasts forever. So yeah, I think before you try to find home in something external, it's important to remember to come home to yourself first.
100%. That's really awesome stuff, Mbali. Just one more question out of the bag, just one more before we close off with the interview. Where can the listeners find your music as well as Khaya Lami, and also follow you online?
Yes, so my music, including Khaya Lami, is out on all music streaming platforms. So wherever you choose to listen to your music, whether that's Apple Music or Spotify or YouTube, anywhere, you can find my songs on there. And then on social media, you can find me at Mbali Rose Music. I have the same handle across all social media platforms.
Great stuff, Mbali. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your story and the heart behind your music. It's really awesome having you on the show with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
Fantastic, great stuff, Mbali. And also to the listeners, that is South African singer, songwriter Mbali Rose talking about her musical journey and her beautiful new single called Khaya Lami. The song is available now on all major streaming platforms as she's mentioned, so be sure to give it a listen and experience this heartfelt celebration of love, belonging, and finding home in the people who matter most.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.